Oh yes, there's the palm tree to prove that I am roaming the streets, the mean streets of Northern California and Sacramento. Thank you, by the way, for subscribing. I am now 10 away from having 1,000 subscribers, and it's not a matter of bragging on rights. It's a matter of me making money from the ads that show before these videos. YouTubers who have 1,000 subscribers or more actually make money. Right now, this channel is not making me any money. I'm 10 away. So thank you so much for all of you who have gotten me this far. I really have much gratitude for you. Here's what we're going to talk about today in this video. I received a comment from a video I made called Black Americans Are Second-Rate Citizens. How can we change this? That was the title of my video. John Doe left a comment saying, quote, talk about Asian Americans as the next white people, end quote. I think that's great for this channel because in this channel, I unapologetically talk about race, ethnicity, cultural perceptions. As the host, I am an idiot every day in the eyes of so many because on a daily basis, I'm called ignorant, I'm called ethnocentric. And I don't deny those claims. In fact, I think we're all ethnocentric. We're all ignorant to some degree. We've all got something to learn from each other. We're all blinded by our own upbringing, our own culture. So it's important for us to openly have these discussions. And if the worst thing that happens is I'm called ignorant and ethnocentric, well, even then I guess I'm not learning anything about myself from that because I already know that. That's the whole foundation of this channel. All right, so let's talk about, are Asian Americans the next white people? Here's what this ultimately makes me think of. It makes me think of Jewish Americans. Granted, it's not to say that Jewish Americans have not dealt with persecution over the course of history in America. But what I am saying is, what I do believe is, Jewish Americans blended in enough with mainstream America, with, as I say on this channel, white culture, that no one really noticed and they blended in with everybody. And they have not received the same level of persecution, say, as Native Americans or Black Americans or Mexican Americans. Jewish people have blended in. The way they've contributed made it to where they didn't stand out. Now, is this possible that this is happening too with Asian Americans at this point? Again, not to say that Asian Americans have not dealt with persecution over the history of America, but especially now more than ever, when we look at the contributions that Asian Americans have in American culture, especially with even math and science. And I'm very familiar with a certain university here in America that's a large one, and I see how many of the scientists there are Asian Americans. And so, and I do believe that people have their own things they bring to the table based on what they're better at, and they can contribute. And I definitely see how this, and last time I looked it up, Asian Americans only make up like 4.4% of the population here in America, which definitely makes them minority. But perhaps, especially now more than ever, Asian Americans are more like white people than ever before. That there's basically this concept, if you blend in and are able to contribute and not stand out in a way that is going to set you up for persecution, you basically become like the mainstream. And it all kind of works out more so than a different, because 4.5% is not a lot of the population when you really think about it. Considering African Americans, last time I looked it up, it's something like, I think, 11 to 14% of the population. Still lots of persecution going on there, right? But Asian Americans, again, overall, it seems that they have become more ingrained into mainstream culture. That's the way it seems, but I'm not really Asian American, so I can't really speak on that. I really think that the power of this video is based on your ability to leave a comment. I've got more question marks than anything about this. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that Asian Americans are like white people for being a minority here, but I can't quite put a finger on it, so I need. Man, like I said, there's almost 1,000 of you. Will you help me out? Leave a comment. Let's explore this concept of how certain ethnicities, certain backgrounds, certain minorities in America can be more successful than others. And why? But specifically, why Asian Americans? Because when I think of Asian Americans, I do think of people who are very successful and are not specifically known for outright discrimination in the ways that African American and Native American people have been treated. So remember, I'm ignorant, I'm ethnocentric, I don't have all the answers. I really don't have any answers. You have the answers, which you will now leave in the comment section below.